And you, in all of that, you learn more about what you don't like than what you do. Think about that for a minute. Most of us right now, married or not, could sit there and a lot easier tell us what you don't want in a partner instead of what you do. I mean, yeah, we could all say, I would like to have somebody. Trixie, trying to make a video here. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you can look, you can use the same video. It doesn't matter which side you're looking at. The phone is on the ground level, and what you can see is the length of the grass is getting up pretty high. Trixie, not in my eye. Not in my eyes, sweetie. Trixie. Quiet! Okay, I think I'm fine now. Thank you, Corny. So, oh Lord. So when you get down nice and low and you see the grass, I want y'all to notice that this, ouch. Do y'all mind working on a serious video here? Trying to work on a serious video. Well, hey folks, Lester here, and getting to the sanctuary on a beautiful Saturday my time. Now, I know you won't see this video today or tomorrow. Well, you may see it tomorrow. It just really depends on how much time I get to do all my editing and whatnot. Anywho, I'm lucky because dun, 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 Ellie is already here. And now we're going to walk around and find out what he's done, what he hasn't done, what needs to be done, what he's done that he should not have done. I'm kidding, obviously. I'm really happy, y'all. I'm really blessed to know that he's taking an active role in things around here. Now, he and Megan are not actually making the official move until later in May. But I want to make sure that when that happens, that transition actually happens, he's all the way set up and ready, and there's no questions. And I'm still going to be here. Don't do all that weird stuff. I'm still going to be here all the time. But I don't want to act like I'm, you know, here to check up on him. I want him just to kind of come in and do his thing, and I'll be here just to say, welcome, love. I'm just coming to love Trixie. I'm just coming to love Trixie, Ellie. I'm just here to love Trixie, not to see what you're doing. There. All right, Trixie. Does she have to use the tongue? Don't y'all? I mean, every time. Have y'all ever known somebody that when they kiss, they just can't normal kiss? They have to like kiss. Well, she's one of them kind of girls. Trixie's one of them kind of girls. I don't want to do like that, but not her. She just wants to do. See, she's one of them kind of girls. So one of the jobs that, one of the harder jobs, in my opinion, of the sanctuaries is a daily chore, or picking up and get, all the boxes. Now listen, in saying so, this is one that I just loaded. You all can read that. 8-frame beehive kit. Why? That's my question. Why would you have sent that here, guys? I'm sure this has to be with Jamie's gardening and all that stuff, but these are bees you're talking about. And you know that bees do bite. And I'm not sure exactly what your ideas are with this, what you would hope to see Jamie do with this. But I say Jamie because that's not for me. That is not for me. That's really sweet right there. Pablo's watching his lady swim around. And of course, Adam or Steve is watching Pablo watch the ladies swim around. Oh my gosh, poor Pablo. This is a true love triangle if I've ever seen one. Except now it's not really a triangle. The triangle is right there amongst them three. This over here is, well, he's mad now. Look at him, mad and walking away. Boy, Pablo, you got your hands full trying to manage all of that. Trying to manage all that. Yeah. And have you ever noticed that sometimes guys ask for it themselves? Seriously, who has time? You know the number of guys and girls that sometimes have extramarital relationships. But have y'all ever wondered how dumb that is? How much time that must take? Who has time for stuff like that? Pablo has to sometimes second guess himself. And then that makes you realize what a sickness it is. Because who in their right mind would ever try to manage, well, yeah, it's a sickness, y'all. It's just a sickness. Now you're all alone, Pablo. See, that's what always happens. At the end of the day, you're still going to be lonely. And that's what no one understands. All these people in these relationships, these superficial relationships, and come to find out that they're the most loneliest people in the world because the relationships actually meant nothing. Yeah, listen to me. I will say this from personal knowledge. I will say this from personal experience. It may seem cool and fun, you know, whenever you are a single guy and you're able to go out and come home when you please. You don't have anybody to harass you and tell you what to do and when to do it. You can see who you want to. But, here goes the but. Those people are the most loneliest people in the world when it comes time to a special holiday, a special event, and you're still single and you're sitting there by yourself with no one to celebrate with because all of your relationships were superficial. A lot of people probably say, Lester, how do you know stuff like this? What makes you the expert on anything to do with relationships? And all I can say is that during the 5 years that I was divorced, during the 5 years between serious relationships, you would meet people. You would go out. You would have people come over. But every single person that would come over, they were always, you might say, being evaluated. You think about your kids, you think about your own needs, and you always try to find the right balance in all of that. Some girls you realize weren't the right fit. Sometimes a girl realized that you weren't the right fit. And so, yeah, you do begin to, rack up. They call it a body count. It's a stupid term that the kids are using. But you do begin to rack up kind of a body count. And you, in all of that, you learn more about what you don't like than what you do. Think about that for a minute. Most of us right now, married or not, could sit there and a lot easier tell us what you don't want in a partner instead of what you do. I mean, yeah, we could all say, I would like to have somebody that, hey, son, come over here. Hello. I got a really good, deep conversation happening right now, and you're just in time for it. Oh, wonderful. So I was thinking to myself that it's easier for, I think, most people to say what you don't want in a relationship compared to what you do. Think about that just for a minute. I think there's things that are just non-negotiables that you know for a fact you do not want in a relationship. But I don't know that anyone knows exactly what they do want or need in a relationship. Do you agree with that at all?
I mean, I don't know. It's kind of personal. I'm not as open to talk about that kind of stuff as you are.
Oh, okay.
But in general, I do agree with the concept, though, that a lot of times you may have an idea with anything in life of what you do want, but when you do trial and error, you might learn more about, I can tolerate a lot of things, but these are the few things that I can't tolerate.
So that's kind of what I said. During the years that I was divorced from your mom before I met Lex's mom, there was several years there that I dated, and I learned more about what I did not want in a partner. Seriously, I learned real fast what kind of things were red flags that I would not and could not do life with. Well, I would say that what I will never put up with is someone that cannot be logical, especially when they're mad, when they're unreasonable, when there's violence, when there's narcotics, especially drugs of some sort that keep their mind where they're not able to think rationally. And so those are like non-negotiables. What are your non-negotiables? I was just rewatching the video that me and Ellie made. Jamie walks up behind me and she says that people are going to think that I was talking about things adult in nature, like sexual things. And it's going to be like I'm some kind of or I was some kind of a man whore. Guys, that's not what I was doing. I was just trying to say that the people that I had dated, there were a multitude of things that you learn that you don't like about them, more so than there's things that you do like about them. It had nothing to do with things sexual in nature. Well, not really. Well, maybe a few things, but by and large, it wasn't about that, y'all. It wasn't about that. I've done it again. I fed the cows in the high grass. The reason is, guys, I'm going to go ahead and close the gate. I want to keep them in. Anyone think they might know why I'm going to keep them in overnight? Look around good. Let's do like a trivia question. I'm going to actually drop down kind of low. I want to show you something. I'm going to actually get on my belly. Hope the neighbors are not watching. But if they are, whatever. All right, so I got the ground. I got the phone actually setting on the ground. Trixie, get! Trixie! Trixie, I'm trying to make a video here. I don't know if Trixie realizes what just happened. But if you notice something, Trixie came up to love me. Trixie came by to love on Daddy. And Cornholio has claimed ownership of this pasture. So much so that he couldn't stand the fact that Trixie was over here. He couldn't. He could not stand the fact that Trixie was in here. And Corny tried to come run Trixie out. I'm gonna leave you guys in overnight, okay? You're not in trouble. You're not being grounded. But this grass is really, really high. Now, what I'm going to do is remind y'all that we do have an old roll of hay. It's not that old. It just, they've stopped eating on hay because there's so much green, beautiful grass. And so they got the grass to eat on. They got hay if they need it. And then I'm going to fill up their water trough over there where they have fresh water. I'm going to close this gate right here, though, so they will be stuck inside this pasture. For how long? For how long, everybody? Come on. Say it with me. One night only. And I promise you, in one night, they'll eat all this grass down to the right length. And that will help us control our parasites. I bet a lot of people didn't realize there's so much science behind it. We only learned about the parasites living in high grass. That might have been the first time Dr. Priestley came out to the property, and all of our goats were sick. Every one of them were sick. It was midsummer. They'd all lost so much weight, and we could not figure out what was wrong with them. And so when you have so many animals to take in, it's easier and even cheaper to pay for the vet to come out. Because, yeah, they may charge you several hundred for the house call, but it would be almost impossible to take every goat in individually. And then what they do is, when you have a herd and they all have the same illness, they can sometimes just test a few of them, randomly test a few of them, and they'll know right off what your issue is. And so it was determined then that our grass was too high. The food bowls, the sick goats were actually spreading germs and infectious diseases through their food bowls because they share with each other. So that's why all the goats had gotten sick. And so that's when it was recommended to cut the grass under 3 inches. So your lawnmowers all come with a blade length, and so we always put that on 3 inches. And then we also stopped feeding in bowls. We fed in the grass. And of course, we started changing up our watering system, changing the water several times a day. And all the goats got well. They got well. We didn't lose any of them, thank God. But you do. There's so much science behind farming, and you learn those things, and it makes you all the better because of it. Sometimes I gotta watch myself. I watch other channels who don't know what I know. And so I'm reminded, I can get frustrated, but I have to remember what my friend Rick said, that you can't be upset with someone who doesn't know what they don't know. They don't know what they don't know. I see a lot of farm channels who just don't know what they don't know. And so you feel bad for the animals that may struggle and suffer through. You could always leave a comment and give a suggestion, but not say they're going to read it. And ultimately, I will say this, there's not a more vain, I'll use the word vain. There's no one more vain than a video creator who begins to think they know it all. They are the know-it-all in the farming community, to have someone else who tells them what to do or how to do it. They take that very personal. I've been blocked from a lot of farm channels. Yeah, Lester Morrow, I'm a Survivor Sanctuary, has been blocked. We are on the blocked list of a lot of different farm channels because we either A, we make a suggestion, or B, someone else suggests something and then puts our name on it and says, you should watch I'm a Survivor Sanctuary, and then it turns it blue. And when they see that come up too many times, they don't do well with that. All right, Ellie's back. Walk over here real fast. I'm gonna ask you a question, see if you know the answer.
Okay.
All right, so I did something just now, and I'm curious about your thoughts on it. Okay, so you see the 4 longhorns, and I have enclosed them inside that little 1-acre pasture. Number one, would you have any idea why I would have done that? From what you know about running the farm, do you know why I would have enclosed them in that 1-acre pasture?
Usually you do it when something else has to be done. You need them out of the way, or if you need them all in a close spot to do something with them.
Okay, so he said either because I need them out of the way, which obviously whenever we rake and stuff like that, we would do that. Or when we fertilize, when we reseed, okay? Or I put them into a pasture if I want to do something with them, like maybe load them or deworm them or whatever. Okay, so actually look at this length of the grass there. So they're not eating in that pasture at all, and that grass is getting to be pretty high. It's probably 5 or 6 inches high. The problem with that is parasites can live in grass over 3 inches high. So I put them in that pasture to help eat some of the grass down, okay? So they're kind of forced to eat that grass down. Now, what is the problem with that particular pasture? Besides the grass being too high, what is the problem with that one particular pasture?
I don't really see a problem. Like, do you mean a problem like with the land, or like?
So I've always told you that any animal in that pasture is at risk. What is the problem? And it's only that pasture.
Because they don't have a water source?
There's no natural water source. Yes, any animal in any other pasture has a natural water source in being a pond. This particular pasture here, though, has no natural water source. So I've always told Ali, this is kind of funny, but it's also true. We've always played these what if scenarios. And I always said, like, what if I was driving somewhere and I had a wreck and I was, incapacitated or dead? What would be the one thing you have to come here and do immediately? And it was what?
I guess call 911.
No, here.
Here? Oh, yeah, get to all your, like, secure, safe stuff before looters come and take it. It's the...
I said take care of the animals in that pasture. You haven't learned a thing of it.
That's what you told me before we had a sanctuary. This has been going on since I was like 5 or 10 years old. So.
All right, so my focus right now is this particular pasture.
I'm sorry,
and the fact that I put 4 animals in there with no natural water source. So I'm terrified that if me and Jamie are on the way back to Longhorn Lester's and we end up not making it, God forbid, what must you do as soon as you get over here?
Make sure the water's good.
Yes, let them out. Make sure there's water, because any animal in that pasture, if for some reason the water should go out, or the water should get spilt, or the water should, you know, not fill for some reason, then they would die within a matter of days. You do know that, right?
Yeah.
Well, I would say that was a fairly productive day here at the farm. I want to thank y'all for joining us. And like I always say, things are funner and gooder. It's funner and gooder. It's always funner and gooder. With these two and friends, it's always funner and gooder. See y'all in the next video.
Don't let your troubles fester. Come watch Longhorn Lester.
Yeah, something like that.